Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to this channel where we talk all things gems. I am your girl, Kim, aka Kim with the Gems. Today, we are not going to waste any time. We're going to start with a throwback or way back. Today is Wednesday. Let's call it Way Back Wednesday. Way back in November, this video was one of the first. I think I say it happened. We launched 2 weeks earlier. So this one was sometime in November, and the passion was there then. The passion is still there now. And I don't want y'all to say that I'm jumping on a bandwagon or this is not for real or this is fear mongering. So let's just go ahead and take a listen, and then we'll get back and chat about what's happening. So let me go ahead and share. The Holy Spirit put it in my heart, 2 weeks ago, actually just over 2 weeks ago, to do this series, the Stay Ready So We Don't Have to Get Ready travel series, Move Abroad series, Get Your House in Order series. So I completely understand that it is not everyone's dream to move abroad. I get that. I'm not judging that. But I do think everyone needs to get their house in order. And just from the comments that I have been receiving, especially from like that passport, get your passport, how to get your passport video, people didn't even know they needed to get their house in order. People were sitting on passports that they didn't realize were either expired or about to expire and have since taken action. And so that is what tonight's conversation is about. Listen, I know the Lord has sent me here to have these lives and, meet with my fellow gemstones and Gem Nation. But I'm not sitting up here talking for 2 hours just to be talking for 2 hours, right? I'm sitting up here talking for 2 hours, and hopefully I don't think it'll be 2 hours tonight. But I always say that it always ends up being, we'll see. And just to add, that night it ended up being 1 hour and 56 minutes and some change. So I did not go all the way to the 2 hours, but very close. But yeah, we've been talking about getting our house in order since November. This was over 7 months ago, going on 8. But let's just finish listening to some of the gems that I dropped in that I hope many of you, and from the comments, you guys are blessing me so much this week with your updates and what you've been doing. And so I thank you for that. But let's just listen to a few more minutes of this. I know he put me in this position right now to get people to act, not to listen, not to just come and, chit chat and all of that. It's to act could mean just spreading the word. If you have your house in order, but you need to spread the word to people that you're not sure about, then that's action, right? If you don't have your house in order, and what I mean by house in order, for those of you that have been here, meaning having all the paperwork you need at the ready. So that's your passport, that's your birth certificate, that's your social security card, that's what's going to say, your marriage certificate, your, oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, you go watch the video and get that information, but making sure. So just know I had done a video prior to this one listing the documents at that time. Today, we are going to go over a super comprehensive list, and there will also be an opportunity for you to get a downloadable version with clickable links. It's not necessary because I'm going over the list live tonight, so you can share this video, you can rewatch it, you can take notes, but I'm always about making things simplifying the process so that you can have everything in one spot. And you can also share the document with people. Or you remember yesterday, I talked about hosting town halls. This is a great guide for anyone who wants to look into doing that. They don't have to be big town halls. They could be little town halls, whatever. But we're almost done with this, and then we'll get into tonight's topic. Sure, you have original copies, valid copies of all of these documents secured. And I was going to say health care information. Get your doctor's appointments done as soon as possible. If you have not had your checkup, this year, get it done. If you need to get blood work done, get it done. If you need medication that you've been sitting on, get those prescriptions, get them filled. We are less than 2 months away. This was in November, y'all. This was in November. And when I tell you, this was divinely put on my heart to go so hard, so long in November without having a clear direction or knowing that things were going to ramp up at warp speed. I just give thanks. And again, I will continue to do what is put on my heart and in my spirit to do to help our community. So anyway, we're almost done with this. From the changing of the guard. And although things such as like healthcare reform and all of that won't happen day one. You don't want to be caught up in the bottleneck. Actually, it's already bottlenecking, because especially as it relates to healthcare, it's the end of the year. People are already trying to spend up their FHA money. They're trying to get into the doctors before the year turn, switches over. So these lives are to produce action. These lives are to help walk people through analysis paralysis. I give the example of me starting these lives. If I would have questioned on that Sunday, what was it, November 10th? Okay, I'm going to do these lives for a week. I don't have the topics. I don't have the template. I don't know how long they're going to be. Oh, I got to wait. I got to wait till I get all of that figured out before I start. I would have never started this. It'd be January, and I'd still be trying to figure out 7 days worth of topic.
Analysis paralysis will be one of the biggest challenges that we overcome as a community. There is a quote that we talked about in our recent course, and it's one of my favorite quotes from Judge Toller from Divorce Court. And she was like, if I would have waited for all of my ducks to get in a row, I would have never crossed the street. Sometimes you just have to grab what you got and make a run for it. This is the point we're at right now. Grab what you got, just like I started doing in November. The knowledge I had, the research I was willing to do, the contacts that I was able to, tap into made me say, you know what? God will do the rest, right? I put my faith in what I had and what he was going to provide. And so again, we're almost done with this recap.
And trust me and believe, the reason things don't get done, most people can't get things done, is simply because they don't execute on them. It's just that simple. And so I cannot continue to do these lives without reminding people that this is a community now, right? Y'all are in here chit-chatting before I'm in here. Lean on each other, support one another, ask questions. I'm trying to get the most effective way to build a community where we can not offline, but without me having to be live, we could still host these type of get-togethers, chit-chats,
and those have been launched. We've been doing the Flawless private community since, I want to say, December of last year. We are on a summer hiatus, but if you're interested in joining the community when we pick back up in September after Labor Day, there will be ways that you can do it. I don't know if the link is in the description, but I will post in the community tab. And that's where we get together as a smaller collective. If someone hears something or sees something, they share it. If there's a solution or some type of tips that are out there that we need to know about, it's being shared there. And we're talking in real time. But it's private, it's not public. We're not reposting it on this platform. This is for a community to be about that action and help each other along the way. We have so many people in our community that have done so many great things. I would shout I'll shout two of them out right now. LJ, I don't know if you're in here now because I can't see who's in here right now, but LJ and Shell went to Bogota, Colombia as a scouting trip. They had not had that planned prior to. And so just the community and the support and the accountability and the movement, they're also part of an accountability group that I host. But again, there's so many other people in that community. I would be remiss if I don't call everyone out. Christine, my moderator, she put her, faith out there and wanted to apply for Mexican residency and was about the action. And so again, just more validation that not only do we need this big community, we need smaller communities to hold each other accountable. And so more about that in a second.
Motivational, encouraging types of conversations, but this is not a game, and I'm serious. Like this is something we should not take lightly. And right now we have some time on our hands. So, I mean, time is kind of on our side, not on our hands. But time is kind of on what was I going to say? Time is also in our hands as well, because some of us have vacation coming up. Some of us have days off because of the holidays. Some of us can do things now that they might not have been able to do a month ago because they couldn't get the time off as it relates to getting your paperwork in order. So my whole objective with these lives is to motivate people to execute. And I should have got water, but I did get wine, and I really don't want the rest of this wine right now. But I had a water bottle at my desk, but I don't. But anyway, so I want us to execute. I want us to encourage each other to execute. When I see people comment that they did something, they acted on something based on a video, that's what lets me know that I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting God's time. I'm not wasting your time. And so that's what today's video or this live is about, is to really give some motivation. I have some clips, audio that I want to play, as well as have the conversation. Where are you stuck? Because we really need to do less planning and more doing. Like, planning is really.
So we're going to stop there, and I'm going to pick up there. We need to do more planning and less doing. This is not a drill, y'all. This is not a drill. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. I hope to light fire under somebody's tail. And I really hope that, again, I'm not going to be able to influence, affect everybody who comes across this live, but I know someone will be, and that's why I'm here. If it's one person, two people, my job is done. And so today is, once again, listen, do we have our papers in order? What we doing, y'all? Are our papers in order? And if you are unclear about what those papers are, we're going to go over a pretty comprehensive list. So if you don't have a notepad and a pen, go ahead and get it now while I officially introduce myself and say hi to some of the members in the building. But this, Black people, this is not a drill. Get your documents ready to go. Ahora. And we'll talk about what I mean by ready to go when we go through the information. So yeah, let me go ahead and say hi to some of the people in the building real quick. Hey, Show About Nothing. Wonderful. It's a 6-month process and you got 4 months until God, listen, you are about that action. You started the process. I am so proud of you. I am so happy for you because you have been riding with us for a very long time. And so again, y'all, you just make my heart happy. Hey, Moni, Juliet. I know Moni is making some moves as well. And so I'll get to that in a second. Hey, Miss P, good to see you. Hey, Siobhan. Yes, stay about that action. That's right. Yes, let's put it all in the atmosphere. The approval is imminent for Show About Nothing. Hey, T. Gaynor Jennings, it's been a minute. Good to see you. Oh, no, were you here the other day? You might have been here one of these lives. We're on day 7. Today is we started on July 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Tomorrow is the 7th day. That's right. I'm sorry. Hey, Kevin, welcome back. You had an epiphany. If it weren't for you would have delayed working on your dream to move abroad. You would have been lulled into complacency and thinking you had plenty of time to plan and act. Listen, that's a word right there, Sister Miss P. That is a word right there. Just like I think, what happened in 2020, although horrific, it had a lot of people act much sooner in ways they wouldn't have had that not happened. Hey, did I say hi, ABS girl? If it weren't for him, you probably would not have found this community and taken that. Yep, exactly, Miss P. And I know you taking some action around your move, your finances, and all the things. And so, yes, congratulations. Hey, LJ, I just talked about you. You probably heard me. LJ is in Bogota, and she's part of so many of our communities, and she's a vital asset in our community and a wealth of knowledge. She helps to keep us all informed. And I did see one of your messages, and it's interesting because I had seen it, but I want to start off with that as well. So, hey, did I say hi, Christine? You, because y'all be talking to each other. Like I said, hey, Cynthia, welcome, welcome. Christine says to like, share, subscribe, and I don't think I did my official invite. Hey, Dante, welcome back. Hey, AC, Anita Creations. Hey, LS. Hey, Fatful Jones. Okay. Yeah, I did see. Yeah, I saw them taking to the streets. Yes, but listen, Mexico City is it's in a okay, that'll be a whole, because we are going to do another video on the best places and not so best places to think about relocating to, if that's what you want to do. So yeah, so we're going to get into it because it's only been 15 minutes. Okay, I'm not as bad as I used to do. We're gonna go through it. So give me a second to say hi to some of the people. LS, we practice patience over here, girl or guy. A little bit of patience, because we like to chit chatty, and these videos can go on for 2 hours. And so if you're watching this in the future, go ahead, put the speed up to 2 times. I want to be able to do the chapters, but I haven't got to that yet. The time just hasn't been in my favor to do that. But if you're watching now, put it to 1.75 at minimum. You'll get through it in almost half the time. So go ahead and do that. You got your pen and your pad. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so if I missed you, I see Casper 330 in the building. Hola, ¿cómo está? Recent residente temporal de Mexico, one of the gymnations, and one of my clients. Listen, my books have been booking. People are, listen, I opened up my calendar for July. Some people are booking to talk about residency. Some people are booking to talk about business strategy. Some people are booking to talk about other places they want to live. Some people are they want me to, guide them in other areas. And so if you're interested, I don't know what my August is going to look like. Plus, I'm going to take some time to get my whole situation situated. And so if you're interested in a one-on-one session, there'll be $25 off my normal price for the month of July, the rest of July, because I've had my books closed for at least a month or so, probably 2. Living abroad at 60. Hey, Marianne, welcome. I think you were here before, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong. Hey, Auntie Wellness Sonia. Y'all, listen, another gemstone who is all about action and was part of one of the cohorts of my scouting trip in May in Playa del Carmen. So I'm so happy to see all of y'all here. So I am going to go ahead and get started actually with something that, listen, if it doesn't spark movement, then something wrong, child. Something is wrong. So let me go ahead and share this article first, and then we'll get into the documents. So let's just go ahead and read this real quick. U.S. Agricultural Secretary says Medicaid recipients can replace deported farm workers. Y'all better get these passports together. Y'all better get these residencies up and ready, child. And I'm not just saying that I don't think it's just going to stop at Medicaid. There's going to be other qualifiers. So if you get SNAP benefits, like I don't know what the future holds, but I do know it's sinister. And I do know some things are going to, so let me open this because these are going commercial. So let's just try to read. Okay. The U.S. Agriculture Secretary has suggested, so if it's been suggested, no, it's been talked about. This just didn't pop out of thin air, y'all. The U.S. Agriculture Secretary has suggested that increased automation and forcing Medicaid recipients to work could replace the migrant farm workers being swept up in DT's mass deportation campaign, despite years of evidence and policy failures that those kind of measures are not substitutes for the immigrant labor force underpinning American culture. Speaking at a news conference with red governors on Tuesday, Rollins said the administration would rely on automation, also some reform within the current governing structure, and pointed to 34 million able-bodied adults in our Medicaid program. Jim Crow's back, y'all. Get them papers ready, y'all. Be about that action, y'all. Join community, y'all. Don't be left out here by yourselves, not knowing what's going on, y'all. Woo! There's been a lot of noise in the last few days and a lot of questions about where 47 stands and his vision for farm labor. There are plenty of workers in America, y'all. Woo, child. And so, you know what? We're going to stop there. You can read the article yourself. You can Google Medicaid farm labor and read the article yourself. But at the end of the day, child, how do you want your day to end? After working in a field, in a farm, and again, like I said, this isn't going to stop at Medicaid. To replace all of the workers and the laborers that they are getting rid of and plan to get rid of, this is not a game, y'all. So we're going to go over the documents. Let's quickly go over what we've discussed over the last few days. Like I said, we're at least going to complete 7 days in the Stay Ready so we don't have to get ready 2.0 series. And today marks day 6. So let's just go through. I thought it was day 7. We'll figure it out right now. Day 1, our progress is under attack. Are we going backwards, and what can be done? Listen, is this real? This is all part of day 1. When they said land of the free, we know there's an asterisk. We know there's terms and conditions that apply, and we are the terms and conditions that apply. Day 2, 5 ways we can survive devastating healthcare cuts outlined in the new bill. It's about to be a new Black America. So what are we willing to do to stay safe? We went over how these sweeping changes will impact us at greater levels, right? And a lot has to do with the income disparity, right? And so that was day 2. That's what it was, because I didn't put a day 3. Day 3 was the big bill versus Project 2025. We in danger, y'all. Day 4 was 5 smart ways to protect your money and how to prepare for the worst. Day 5 was the Great American Purge, keeping the most vulnerable in our community safe. It's serious, y'all. It is a purge, y'all. We went over the definition of a purge, and there is a purge currently happening. And then today is day 6, I think. The documents that are necessary to keep us protected. And so we are going to go over the legal documents that we should all have in our, I'll call it arsenal, and we need to have ready to go. And what do I mean by ready to go? We talked about it before. Everybody needs a to-go bag, like just grab and go. And we referenced it also when the situation in California with the fires that came so unexpectedly. People only had minutes to get out of their house. Well, if you only have minutes, what are you going to grab? Well, we're going to go over a list of those documents in a second. And again, there will be an opportunity for you to download a resource. It's the to-go bag document checklist with clickable links, what you'll be able to download that's in the description, and I'm actually going to put it, let me go ahead and put it in the chat as well. Everything has, not everything, every federal office, every department that has links available, you'll find the clickable links there. And so I'm going to put that in the chat right now. But again, this is not necessary for you to download. I'm giving you all the information free today, tonight, right now. You can share this video. This is for people who like to, one, support the channel. Some of y'all know I have been doing, I didn't do it this year, I just didn't have the time, but I want to get back to doing some type of passport giveaways for people that really, really need it. Someone posted in the chat yesterday that they really, anyway, so if you want to help the channel, help the channel. And I'm looking for a smart way, because I usually do it on my travel platforms. For me to do it on YouTube makes me a little anxious, right? Because there's some cuckoos. And not y'all, but child, if y'all see some of the comments I get, like, I just don't want to be taken to go doc. Yeah, I just don't want to be, taken. Checklists with links. Okay. Hopefully that. And Christine, if you can post that, like, as people come in or not, right? And so as we see more and more people, go ahead, hit that like button. I am Kim, aka Kim with the Gems. On this channel, we talk all things wellness, travel, and money from a Black woman's perspective, from a cultural point of view. Listen, we bring people who are part of the culture to also drop gems in those three main areas. We have been on this movement, this series to make sure that we are staying ready for the changes that are happening. We talked about getting ready for when they were going to happen. Now that they're here and happening, we have to, stick together, tell each one, teach one. And I had to come back and do at least a 7-day series. We'll see how much more time I can commit or when I can come back, because I am actually traveling right now. And so I will get in where I could fit in. So let's go ahead and go over some of the documents that are going to be required. Well, first, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. We're going to review an emergency to go back document checklist, right? Part of the resource guide also has a separate section if you are a Haitian immigrant, Haitian immigrants, and you want to help them, or you need help for yourself with these resources. So one is just general documents and information for not only US citizens, but also immigrants of color. And then another part, the second part, is specifically because we know that the Haitian immigrant population is severely targeted with, I think, 500,000 deportations expected ASAP. So why does this matter? Why am I redoing this? Why am I updating it? Why am I doing it now? Well, the new bill that we've been talking about, right? It expands ICE detention facilities to over 100,000 beds, y'all. And we know that based on forecasts, they're looking at deporting 1 million people per year, or putting them in some type of detention center. And so the new agents, how many? 10,000 new agents, but before 2029, I want to say. And so this checklist, this form, these documents that I'm going to also review for free, because I want you to understand, I always, when it's something that's important, will give you the information, no cost, here for the world to see. But again, I like to simplify things for those people who are willing to do the work. And I also know when you pay something. Oh, and it's 50% off right now, child. It's under $10. It's super duper cheap, right? Again, it's not for me, it's for my quest and the goals that I have to help others that I know are going to need help in this process or through this process. And so the vision is there. I just have to legalize it and make it so that we're safe. I'm safe. And so when we go through this checklist, it matters because all of this stuff will help you provide quick access to proof of your status, representation, your community ties, and make a difference in preserving the rights and due process in case you come in ICE contact. Because again, when they start picking people up that are from Caribbean destinations, some even, from South American destinations, where African countries, where our complexions are very similar, child, who's to say who's going to get picked up, who's not? But the people who have a better chance of making it out are the ones that, and I said it yesterday, sound like they know what they're talking about, have someone to help them on the ready to call. And so although keeping these documents organized and accessible won't prevent an encounter with these agents, it at least will empower you to respond effectively, assert your rights, and stay ready so we don't have to get ready. So what is the list, right? And all this information is updated as of today. We're going to share a comprehensive immigration emergency to go checklist. And then, let's go through what that looks like. First of all, you want to be able to prove your identity and immigration status through your documents. What is the most important document that we've been talking about? I need y'all to put it in the chat. If y'all are part of this community, put it in the chat. Let me see what my people's, and I'm not even going to go on until I really didn't want this backdrop. I really, let me see if I could take this background. There we go. Yes, Nikki. Ding, ding, ding. You win the prize. Yes. Christine was number 2 with the quickness. Thank you. So yes, number 1 is a valid passport, y'all. That provides, and so I'm going to say what the document is and why it matters, right? And then for whoever, downloads the book, you get a link, a direct link to register, send to someone, sign up. So the first item is a passport, but it has to be valid. It cannot be expired. Nope. An expired passport, when you are proving your identity and status, is garbage. It's trash. Now, you can't travel with it when it's expired. So even though you have time, I believe it's a year or two to renew, if someone asks you to produce your passport and it's expired, you might as well take out a piece of paper, take out a pen and say passport and put your name. It'll have the same value, right? Second, if you are a green card holder, you must carry your green card with you, and it has to be current. And it has to have your exact information. It can't be a maiden name or a name that doesn't match who you are now today. Make sure you have your green card. I think it's called the I-551. Why does it matter? Because it's proof of permanent residency. Your visa and I-94 form, entry and legal status record. Now, listen, they coming after a lot of people. So again, we are just stacking the odds in our favor. I don't want anyone to call me as if I'm an attorney and say that I went over these documents and someone you know and love got picked up anyway. Again, this is to stack the odds in your favor. It works sometimes. It may not work other times. You also, if you are here legally, but you're not a natural born citizen, you want to carry your employment authorization document, which is EAD, and it shows that you are here legally to work. If you're a naturalized citizen, you want to make sure you not only carry, so let's be clear, you want to have your documents contained in one place where you can grab and go. And I'm talking about the official documents. I'm not talking about copies. You need to, and we'll get into, if you should have copies as well. But everything I'm talking about right now, these are the official stamped, signed documents from whichever government agency that supplies them. We definitely need to keep copies, but so if you have a copy of some of these, like your social security card, which we're going to go over in a second, you need the original. Get the original. And so your naturalization or citizenship certificate, it proves that you are a legal citizen. There's a document called a USCIS, receipts and notices. It shows pending legal case, that you are in the midst of it. Now, we have seen people get picked up at the courthouse. This is why I'm saying this is not bulletproof, future-proof. This is not a guarantee. This is stacking the odds in our favor, because not every state is acting the same or reacting the same to these new orders. Notice to appear. If you have a notice to appear and you're not a U.S. citizen, make sure you carry that. It's important to prove that you have started if you are in the, if you're in the midst of deportation, it's proof that you have already started the process and that a judge is hearing your case, no need, and you've been appearing, right? Your social security card, it proves it's a federal ID for employment benefits, but it also associates a number with you and that you are here legally, right? And so there's also something called the SSA letter showing that you have eligibility for certain benefits. And like I said, all of these have links for you to go directly to if you download the resource guide, the emergency docs checklist resource guide that I put in the chat. I'll pin it in a second too. So let me see if there's any questions. And if you do have a question, put a Q or 3 Qs or a question mark in front of it so that I can access it quicker. My eyes will get to it quicker. And so I'm going to just put the resource guide again, and then I'm going to add it as a pinned comment. So if anybody wants to download it. Okay. Let me do, so any questions? I don't see any questions. Okay, I see people saying passport. Okay, I just need, there we go. And I'm going to pin. Okay. All righty. So let's get back into the documents, y'all. Next up is family and emergency preparedness. Birth certificate for yourself as well as your children. Make sure anyone who is a dependent of yours, and if you have parents that you are taking care of, because some of us, a lot of us can be in that sandwich generation, taking care of kids as well as parents, make sure that they have their passports. And again, these are original documents. And I know, the older we get in our communities, those documents are harder to come by, but try to do your due diligence and do the work. So your birth certificate for yourself, children, dependents, anyone you're taking care of. Why does that matter? It's proof of ID and family relationship. Marriage and or divorce certificates / degrees. It establishes legal family status. Make sure you have the original copies for those available. You also, we talked about it last night, custody and guardianship papers. So if anything happens to you, they will assign emergency childcare to those that you deem fit and that you have selected versus your children being swept up into some system and no one knows where they are or, whatever. Make sure you have a power of attorney. If, it has to be somebody you trust. Because once you assign somebody as a power of attorney, they can sign on your behalf. So that may be a sticky situation, but try to see if there is anyone in your network that you would trust to sign on your behalf should something happen to you. Why is it important? It delegates decisions, including financial and medical. So we talked about it briefly yesterday, something happens to you or a loved one, they get swept up, mortgages need to be paid, rents need to be paid. A lot of these companies won't even talk to you unless you can prove that you have power of attorney to act on that person's behalf. Family photos, listen, try to digitize what you can, but if there are certain heirlooms, important family photos, go ahead and just put them in a to-go bag, child. You've been looking at them this long. Put them in a bag that is ready to go out the door with you. And these are the most precious memories, the most precious items. We talked about this before too. So many of us are used to not knowing numbers because all we got to do is touch the name and touch the number and voila, we don't even have to do that. We call so and such. Like that is absolutely imperative for not only you to have, but for those in your family to have access to. Why is it important? You'll have phone numbers for family, friends, and lawyers because we talked yesterday. I don't care who you are. If you're a person of color, you need to have a lawyer's number. If you don't have it memorized, your kids at least should when they leave. Again, they can remember rap songs that the words are going by 90 miles a minute, right? So let them come up with a rap song where they could remember how, an attorney's phone number. And I also included links to attorneys like general legal aid, as well as you'll find Miss McBean, who we talked about yesterday, her contact information and others. And so that was number 2. So we went over proving, the documents you need to prove your identity and immigration status. We went over family and emergency preparedness. Now we're going to go over financial, residency, and employment records. And there's only, well, technically, you know what, I'll speed it up because there are quite a few. Financial, residency, and employment records, what documents should be at the top of your list? Number 1, your pay stubs and job letters. Just, you don't have to have years worth of it. If you have your latest one, and maybe one that ended each year, it shows your not only your financial status, but also that you are you're not leeching, you're not what they consider a undesirable, someone that they may necessarily want to put at the top of the purge list, right? And so you want to have those, any letters from your job that, have some type of, I used to keep something called the brag book, B-R-A-G, B-R-A-G book. And it was, any accolades, any awards. And I did that not for any vanity reasons, but if I ever wanted to go seek other employment, it was easy for me to just go ahead and take the brag book and just let them know what a stellar person they were interviewing and should hire. Also, you need your bank info statements and account numbers. Why is that important? You want to access funds if you are detained. So rather, you need to give that information to your power of attorney, to your children. Like I said, if it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. If you have children that you trust, or someone that you trust, that you could put their name on your bank account. Now, understand there may be tax implications there as well. So definitely do your research with that. But It just makes it easier if something happens to you for that person to go access funds to help you. Rental agreement, your utility bills, which proves that they could prove that you are a resident, right? Usually you cannot, a US resident, I should say, you cannot get things in your name. Now, I know people, you know, that know how to do things, right? But just try to have that as part of your emergency to go documents, right? Your emergency to go document bag, book, whatever. And we're not talking, again, we're not talking digitized, we're talking hard copies. You can have, we'll talk more about digitized, I think today, if not today, it's coming up, but you need to have hard copies just in case there's no digital, right? Just in case you can't access, you don't have Wi-Fi, you can't access digital. Make sure you have hard copies. You also want recent tax returns, evidence of tax compliance, and also any SSI, SSA documents which show income and eligibility, right? So you have SSA benefits letter, which can include SSI, SSDI, etc. So those are the top financial documents. Now, this is comprehensive. You guys may have other documents like you may want to take. So, and we'll get into it, like your assets, right? We definitely want to make sure that you have your deeds, your mortgage letters, and other assets. I also I went over like breaking on another video, which I will link and add to the end of this video for people who want to see it, knowing your net worth. Because when it comes to your assets can be plentiful. So your intellectual property is also an asset if you're making money off of it. So there are so many things. If you have gold, if you have silver, of course, you want to have your brokerage statements ready to go. So when I say bank statements and bank info, that also includes investments and brokerage, right? But all of that is part of what you should have ready to go. It's a lot, but I promise you, if you commit the time, if you say to yourself that you're going to spend 10 hours a week on this, by the end of 4 weeks, all of this paperwork should be done. Even if you don't have all of the documents, because some of them you have to wait for them to mail back to you, but commit for the next month to get this done. Things are only going to get worse, y'all. Things are only going to get worse. This is not a drill. Black people, this is not a drill. Let's just understand that. Also, your health and medical. So you want to make sure for now that if you have a health insurance card, it still means something. So if you need any type of treatment, you have that card with you, or those you could probably have copies of, but make sure you have your health insurance card. We talked about this. You want a list of all your medication and doctors so that if you need to maintain continuity of your care, whatever that care is, you can, or at least wherever you are, they know how to access or who to go to access your records. You want to have a medical power of attorney or living will so that you designate somebody to make decisions if there is critical care involved where you can't speak for yourself. So they'll be authorized to make medical decisions, even if, God forbid, you're detained or someone, yeah, that's pretty much it. I hate to even say, but that's where we are. Education and your community ties. You want all of the school records for your children. Why? Because it proves your community ties, right? You want to keep those, not all of them, but the most recent ones, I should say. I'm sorry. Some people say keep report cards and awards, but I say only do that if your children are stellar. We know everybody's children ain't all stellar. You may have one stellar one, you may have one mediocre one, you may have one that's like, oh no, they can't see this. But even still, if you could get letters of support from your community, so like from your church, whatever, sports organization they're part of, try to get this stuff now. And the reason why I say now is because it's summertime, right? Especially when you're dealing with schools. If you can't get them now, like the teachers may not be back at school yet, as soon before school starts, like when they start going back and who your teacher or if your kid is in a sports camp right now, that should be part of what you're asking the coaches for and the people who are running the organization for. I'm telling you, it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. And once you do it, like, you don't have to worry about doing it again, at least immediately, right? And now we're going to talk about a digital backup strategy. Let me see if there's any questions. I don't see any cues. Nope. Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry, Dante. What about the passport card? Is that valid as a federal ID? Technically, it is. I don't think there's proper training being done with these agents. And so if someone doesn't know what a passport card is, like, I think everyone knows what a passport is. I wouldn't just walk around with the passport card. And let me show you. Oh, I just took my passport out my purse. But I'm in the US. I still walk around with my passport, y'all. And I literally just took it out before I walked out here. But and I took it out because I was trying to find my little phone thing. But anyway, so would I use that? No. But if that's all you have, if that is all your budget allows for right now, it's better to at least have that than nothing else, because I think passports are still $130 plus another 30 if it's your first time or something like that. If you're renewing, it's like 110. I have a whole video on that, but if you get the resource guide, you can download. The links are there. The links are available for you to review. Okay, so let's get back to, I didn't see any more questions. Yeah, ABX girl. I think the number went up a little, slightly, a little. I mean, it depends upon which research you read, but yeah, it's still under, I think it's like one report I saw was like 38%, but you're right. It's a small fraction. This is why I'm go so hard with like sounding this alarm, because so few of us don't even think about, again, we're not thinking about passports at this point for like vacation. No. And that's the mindset shift that we need to have. We are not looking at these passports like, oh, we're about to go on vacation. We're looking at having a passport like we have to prove that we are citizens of the United States of America. Like, that's really what your mindset needs to say now. And I just know so many people that are still like, oh, I don't need a passport, I'm not going anywhere. You just don't know. You just don't know when you will need it. And I'll say it again, it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. Let's get back to this document. So let's talk about digital and backup strategy for these documents. Like I said, everyone should have an original copy to produce. But, and however, having I forgot to tell you, it's 50% off if you use the word, I'm sorry, I just totally forgot. So it's under $10 if you use the word gemstone. And let me put that in there, code gemstone. It's under $10. Sorry, so I'm gonna pin that instead. My bad, y'all. I was like, wait a minute, what is this? Let me just go ahead and pin the right one so that y'all are getting the discount, I feel bad for those who were already in here. I might just have to go in and change the price. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So y'all don't have to go through the rigmarole, as the other generation used to say, the rigmarole. I'm going to go ahead and change the price now, y'all. Sorry, my bad. I was supposed to give y'all a code and I did not. So there is no problem that cannot be solved. Okay, now it's under $10. I know people like lying. Effa. My bad. I'm just doing too much. I told y'all I have been busy. So digital and backup strategy. Yes, you need a hard copy of original. Yes, you need paper copies, but you should also, when you feel safe, not necessary, scan and save documents digitally. You can use things like Google Drive, Dropbox, a regular USB, which may be safer, and you can supply those USBs to people that you trust. There's other, security like the Proton drive, and there's other encrypted resources that you can save, so it's a little bit more secure, right? You're ensuring that it's more secure than just a regular cloud. You can back up your SSA letter, ID, and your USCIS docs, and keep encrypted copies of those as well. Again, there's Proton. Proton. There's Signal. There's different. You could Google that, right? You could print key. You should back up key contacts, right? Digitally back up key contacts. Your passwords to where your most sensitive information is, like bank accounts and stuff like that. Again, this is just presuming that you have someone that you trust that can hold these. They're not trustworthy. It's better to get you like a lawyer or somebody to watch over this, right? Someone that will do what they need to do if they need to use it. You can also secure a cloud folder and share it with family, which would provide access in case of separation. We're almost done. Now, when it comes to legal tools, right? That's number 7. We're up to number 7 when it comes to the list of emergency docs that you need to secure now. There's something called the ILRC red cards. You can, and if you download the ebook, you get a downloadable version of that. It allows you. When do you use that? You assert your rights if ICE appears. There's a certain card that, there's certain verbiage that you will use to assert your rights. There's also know your rights flyers if you are hard of hearing, legally deaf. You'll know how to respond to raids. There's a family preparedness plan, which assigns guardians, stores key info, and you'll be able to download that plan. It's called the ILRC. I don't want to go through all the acronyms, but there's card for public, work, or school spaces that help you communicate or help the teachers or the people in those positions communicate with ICE enforcement, again, to stack the odds in their favor that maybe they'll walk away, because sometimes they do. There's an emergency guidance app called iAmerica app, and know your KYR tools. So you can look those up in the App Store and download those if you need them, or at least share this information with people that they do need this information. There's a legal aid directory where you can find an attorney by state and city. It's a free legal directory, which the link is available on the guide as well. Also, Emergency essentials. This is number 8. What you should have. All of this should be in your to go bag along with the documents. We talked about having cash, access to cash. More importantly, small bills. Don't go to the bank taking out nothing but hundreds. It's going to behoove you to get the smaller denominations just in case you have to barter, negotiate, whatever. You also need your phone chargers and prepaid cards. Like if you feel a way about carrying a whole bunch of cash, you can have prepaid cards available, but again, not in high denominations, high quantities, because if you're someplace where there's no Wi-Fi, you can't access Wi-Fi, the grid goes down, that prepaid card isn't worth anything either. But if you can get a prepaid phone to keep in your bag, so outside of your whatever, phone service provider you currently use, go get you a little Cricket or whatever a prepaid services to have in your to-go bag, just in case. This is stacking odds in our favor so that we can be safe. The good old child notebook and pen. Keep you a notebook and a pen. Again, we rely too much on digitized information, technology, but we also know not just, we have people coming after us, cyber attacks happening. I forgot how many cyber attacks happen every day, but it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands or millions. So having a good old notebook and pen is good. You can also record the names of any ICE officers that you may come in contact with, even if it's not directly for you. It's, definitely, good if you want to share the information with other people or take down information for other people. The printed script for ICE. And the standard is, I choose to remain silent. I want to speak to a lawyer. Don't say nothing. I choose to remain silent. I want to speak to a lawyer. Thank you. Emergency essentials in the bag, a list of family numbers and social security numbers of your closest family members, right? Just in case you need to reach out to consulates, to embassy, whatever, you need that information. And then finally, let's just talk about the best practices. The best practices to not only putting this information together, but keeping it current. You want to review and update this information. Make sure, like I said, if it's your pay stubs, replace old pay stubs with the newer ones every 3 to 6 months. Keep it current. Set an alarm. Do it with the seasons, right? Every season, you know how they say to change your smoke alarm, was it New Year's, whatever it is. Pick a way to track how often you're going to do it. It could be every 6 months, but I find when I have longer stretches, it's easier for me to forget. So if I say every 3 months, even if I'm not exactly on that 3 month, it'll be before that 4th month, right? And so update the bag, keep one copy with a trusted friend or lawyer or family member. Make sure you use password protection or encryption for all digital files. Never, ever, ever, ever sign anything from ICE without legal counsel. Never. If they say sign this and we'll let you go, if you do not have an attorney present, an immigration attorney present, you're going to have to ride it. You're going to have to ride that out because you don't know what rights you are signing over. The way they're shipping people out on planes, do not sign anything from ICE. And this is what you should be sharing with everyone that you know and love. So when I say you, I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about your kids, your nieces, your nephews, your your aunties, your uncles, your mama, your dad. I'm talking about anyone in your network, your circle that you care about. Let me take a minute to say, if you have not liked this video, as much talking as I'm doing, then you are not a friend of mine. But please go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed. That's how you become part of the Gym Nation, y'all. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button and share this information with a friend. Turn on notifications. We're back tomorrow. I don't think I said the time. Tomorrow is Thursday. We are back tomorrow evening with a general Q&A. We're going to quickly talk about some of the countries. If you're interested, we're not going to do a super deep dive, but we're going to go what's going on with some of the top countries that Black Americans are either moving to or looking to move to, because things are changing globally, right? So we're going to start off with that, and then we're going to have an open dialogue. You'll be invited if you're part of the, it's only going to be open to subscribers. So if you're part of the Gym Nation, because you subscribe, you can hit the link and join us. And so those are the best, the final best practice that I'm going to go over tonight. And we talked about it briefly yesterday, but practice your rights with your family. At least, I say at least once a week, but the way things are going to ramp up, listen, if you still have dinner together, if you say prayers together as a family, incorporate them understanding and knowing how to recite their rights should they get picked up, or should someone they're with, a cousin or something, a friend, tell them, don't let them get too involved, but they could say, oh, say this. And so practice your rights with family, especially children. And like I said, I also put together a separate portion of this resource guide for the Haitian community. And it's several targeted and high impact resources specifically for Haitian community in the US, covering legal aid, know your rights, materials, community support, and advocacy programs, especially crucial amid rising immigration enforcement and ending the protection status for all Haitians, even though there is a full-on, there's some bad things still happening in that country. And so that will be pages, it's a few pages. So understanding that the termination of the protective status takes effect in September 2025, despite continued violence in that country. When I say we're about to see some things happen and occur like we've never seen them before, things are going to get worse. We in danger, y'all. Community advocates are urging Haitian Americans to secure passports and birth certificates for the children who were born here, because if they don't have them, they're currently deemed as statelessness, right? They're stateless. they belong to no state or no country. So if you have a child who was born here, not knowing how, it's going to happen everywhere in the US, but some places having that birth certificate and passport may be the saving grace. And so again, there's scripts that are available that should be memorized and then carried. I'm exercising my right to remain silent. I want to speak to a lawyer. Again, never sign anything without legal review. Do not open your door unless they have a warrant signed by a judge, not by Department of Homeland Security. It has to be signed as of now for a judge. You just have to, listen, stack the odds in your favor. Path of least resistance is what they want. And some people are just going to comply. And that's pretty much it. So I'll see again if there's any questions. But again, this is not a drill. This is not a drill. things are going to happen. You can act like they're not. This is not fear mongering. This is loving my community and wanting everyone to be poised for protection and security versus just not knowing what to say, not knowing what to do. Dag, if I need to run out, we saw what happened, with these floods in Texas, New Mexico. There has been horrific weather occurrences. And then with the defunding of NOAA, our National Weather Service is going to be even more in a deficit to supply accurate, timely information. This to-go bag is not just for immigration, it's also to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. But we also want to stay out them fields too, right? We also want to make sure we do not take those jobs that they want us to have. And so let me go to see, I see quite a few comments. So again, tomorrow we are back to talk about, just the list of the countries that are still viable for us to look into. I'll do a deeper dive about the current residency requirements, but this is just really to get your mind in a pattern where, oh, maybe I could go here, maybe I could go there, maybe I should do this now, right? Maybe I should start the process now. And then we'll come back definitely by next week with a deeper dive. So let's see. Y'all said passports. Yes, that was number one. Passports with more than 6 months. Anything less than a year, get them renewed. Well, birth certificate too, but the number one thing was passports. You renewed in a year in advance and had it in your home on election day. If you apply 14 to 16 months in advance, the State Department may reject your application too far in advance. So there is a stipulation, and I can't remember what it is. And I think it's something like if you could prove that you're traveling, or if you're already abroad. But I need to research that. Yeah, and like you said, 34% of Black Americans have a valid passport, and in the South in particular, numbers even lower. That's facts, and we need to change that. And again, I'm just so overjoyed by the number of people that said that they took action, and we're going to show some of those comments tomorrow, if I remember. Did I say what time tomorrow? Tomorrow is Thursday, so we're going to do 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow as well. And then we'll figure out when I can, I'll be able to share when I could come back this weekend, because I definitely am going to come back this weekend if I can't do Friday. So green holders have certain requirements. Make sure you follow all the requirements. For example, address must be current, or else green card could be invalid, then can lead to deportation. I didn't list everything, but everything has to be accurate and valid. And so just make sure you're going through this and you're updating. And it may take some time, because there's how I talked about the bottlenecks, like there will be some bottlenecking, because people from other countries who really are taking this immigration thing more serious than we are as Black Americans, and I'll just say from the people I know and speak to, they are in them offices getting whatever paperwork they need. So there will be a slowdown. Will probably be a slowdown. But the sooner you start, the sooner you'll finish. So I agree with you, Kevin. What about, we talked about that. Yeah, so it's legally a federal ID. But if you can get a passport versus a passport card, or if you can get a passport and a passport card, that's what I would recommend. Yes, and then storing. Yeah, we talked about that as well. There should be, a link to the Black Travel and Culture Amazon store in the description. If you go to that link, you'll be able to find the resources that I use and other people in this community have ordered to keep your documents safe from fire and water. As much as, like, listen, if like we saw in Texas, how homes just went in the ocean, that's a whole different story. But if, there's some fire damage or rain, water damage, normal, then you should be able to walk away with your documents intact. Should you keep SS cards and birth certificates on your body at all times? So Tammy, I don't know your situation specifically, and that is a case by case kind of like scenario. I don't carry my Social Security card on my person, and I don't carry my birth certificate on my person. I carry my passport. And so, and if you have a passport card, or, you can use that, because technically you can't get one of those without proving that you are a citizen. So, so it's a case by case. You're welcome, Dante. Yes, emergency to go documents. Thank you so much. Under $10. Again, this is simply because organizing is not cheap. And when you're trying to help people, and I wish let me see, I don't want to blow up her spot. No, she posted, so maybe I can share it. Let me see if I could share. No, I'm not going to share. I'll share tomorrow. I'll share more comments tomorrow. But yeah, hey, Ebag, good to see you. Oh, good, you're at work. Do you need to get rid of all debt or just bad credit? Listen, I'm gonna let you make that decision, because I know one thing. As long as your, credit score is okay, that's what matters. Bad debt, I'm not a proponent of bad debt. You got bad debt, it has nothing to do with what's going on now. I just think you shouldn't have it, right? I posted today. So I started this community talking about finances and money. I started this channel, not this community. I started this channel. It was called Black Travel Talks. And the focus was investing and money. But what I found out was that I like smaller groups. Now, I'll give you free information and basic information, but when we get into the weeds of what to talk about, this platform is not it for me. Like, I protect my peace at all costs. And so I have to qualify you to have these conversations. But I posted today, one of the communities that I have is Investing for Independence, and we stay connected. But last May, I was in Mexico. I was living my best life, but I ended up taking time to do a live video, or was it live? I think it was live, about NVIDIA, because I have been an NVIDIA cheerleader since 2020, 2021. And I saw an opportunity, like I posted when Nancy Pelosi a couple years ago made a big move with NVIDIA. When I see something, I say something, and it's up to you to decide what you want to do with that information. I just know if I'm going to make a certain move that I'm very confident is going to prove beneficial, then I'm going to share it, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. Well, lo and behold, NVIDIA just became the first company to reach the $4 trillion market cap number. $4 trillion, y'all. $4 trillion. But if you did the due diligence, if you read the financials, if you understood that company and how many companies they service, it was 1 + 1 = 2 that the company was going to be where it is today. So simply put, if you would have taken a simple $1,000 in May of last year, no, excuse me, because I said wait for it to dip, right? So the first dip, if you would have taken a simple $1,000 in the first dip, which I think was in August, like August 5th or 6th, just took $1,000 and bought NVIDIA stock and did nothing else, that $1,000 today or yesterday would have been almost $1,700. Where else are you going to get that type of return on your money? But you have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to do the research, and you have to be willing to take risks, right? Because that's what the market is. But there are certain companies that, because they're poised to do nothing but run for the next couple of years because of the semiconductor market or the AI space. And so, again, just do yourself a favor and try to stay connected to community so that you can find your tribe. You can find a community that may have intel, that may have some, I'm not saying insider information, but may have more expertise in a certain area, and that you can start making moves. I'm actually going to bring back the community, but not just with me. We're already in the process of doing that. I was a little hesitant because of the time consumption, and I'm battling between where my activism is going to lie, right? And so, but that's going to come back in another format, and we're bringing Hakeem back, and we're going to have a bigger type of community, because we're going to need money. We're going to need to make smart money moves. We're going to need to be able to ride certain waves without the fear. So people were fearful because what they did in May, which is what I came on to say don't do, when they announced the split, they bought at the high. Rule 102 in investing: all hot stocks cool off. Wait for the cool off. Wait for the cool off. But that fear of missing out, everybody's talking about it. People are going to jump and then be upset and then come out with a loss. So instead of buying when it cools off and then riding the wave back up, people will buy because they feel they've missed out. And then when they see it dipping, oh my gosh, I lost $1,000, and then they come out. Well, it's not a loss until you sell. But anyway, saying all that to say, financially, I don't ever encourage bad debt, and I don't encourage your money just sitting in a regular bank account. But more on that when we come back, or the group comes back. Okay, let me see where I left off. I don't think I see any questions. I want to see if I see any questions first. You talked about the birth certificate. Okay. So your debt. Okay, I don't see any more questions. We've been on here an hour and 22 minutes, so I'm not going to. Oh, thank you for sharing my Calendly. Ciao. Yeah, get in July if you can. Again, this is just strategy calls and help with people who are trying to get Mexican residency but need some insider information, some accountability, and all of that. Business coaching calls. If you're stuck, don't know what to do. Like I said, we just came off of this 5-day boot camp. There's replays available. It does not take all of that to start a small base business. Like, it just really doesn't. And in 5 days, you should at least have what they used to call a business plan, but it's a talent to offer blueprint. And now we're in coaching, and some of these brilliant minds that we're coaching have already started their, part of their action plan. So at the end of 4 weeks, their offer is going to be out to the world. And some of y'all will get to meet them on this channel too. What about burner phones and SIM cards? Yeah, I think I talked about that. Maybe I addressed that. Could the real ID replace the passport? I don't think all other countries are going to be okay with that, because then that'll start devaluing other countries' passports. So when you say, I don't know what you mean by replace, I don't see that happening in the near future. The US is one of many powerful countries, and they're all fighting for power. And so they're not going to be like, okay, we're going to accept this little ID from the US, but everyone else. And also understand the passport is a money maker for countries. And so they'll have to find ways to. You like the video coming in. Yeah. So if you missed the beginning, I did a recap of what we were talking about in November of last year. And it's pretty much me saying, y'all get ready. So 9 o'clock tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're welcome, LJ. So I'm just looking for, no, not 10 p.m., 9 o'clock, child. What's tomorrow? Thursday? Yeah, 9 o'clock. So EBAD, the link to the fireproof, waterproof, it'll be in this description. If you go, like I said, there should be a link already into it. There should be a link already to the Amazon store, which has that, but I'll put a separate link. And you know what? Let me see. Oh, thank you for the sales, y'all. Appreciate it. Again, I'm doing it because I have a bigger mission and strategy, and I do want to bring back passport giveaways. I just need to figure out where it's going to live. If it's going to live on my travel platforms, which I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and those are easier to manage than this broad community. Even though it's over 300,000 collective audience, but it's just easier to manage because you're going to have to fill out a form. You're going to have to do certain things. And I don't want to bring that over here. So I just have to figure out how that's going to look. So I don't see any more questions, y'all. Oh, one more question. Moni said, you meant for proof of US citizenship. Oh, see, the weird thing is there's still eventually, who knows? But right now, there's a lot of confusion in different states. Like the red states ain't doing the same thing that the blue states are doing. There's states that are like enhanced. What? What's an enhanced? Because they're not border cities, and so, or border states. So there's still a lot of confusion. For US citizenship, it's supposed to. Because for the real ID and enhanced ID, you have to provide, verification that you are indeed a US citizen. So I don't know what the ultimate goal is. There's still a lot of confusion and infighting right now. But it's supposed to validate you. I've heard funny stories. Like not everybody knows what those different IDs are. I'm in South Carolina. People are confused. I heard people in Texas. I was talking to this lady when I was in Mexico. She's in Texas. She was like, ain't nobody getting that. She was like, ain't, and she's an older, white lady. And she was like, ain't nobody getting that. I was like, that's a money grab. You got one of those, girl? You crazy. So yeah, so I don't know. But we'll see. We will see. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, everyone. Well, we've been on here for an hour and 27 minutes. Again, this information is free. All I ask is that you like this video. Like this video. I believe that saying, hitting that thumbs up is a way to say thank you without really saying thank you. So go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back tomorrow. We're on another movement. I just need to figure out what that movement looks like. It won't be every day for 60 something days, but it will be frequent. And so, and I will be bringing other people on. Sunday, I still have a guest coming on. And she was supposed to send me the time. So let me see if I got the time, and I will tell you right now. Nope, I just know it's Sunday. So I'm going to message her right now. availability. Okay, so more to come on that. Yes, the likes are the ties, exactly. For those of you who believe in tithing. But yeah, so again, I thank you, Juan. I thank you all for being part of this movement. All I ask is that you take this information and share it. That is you being an activist. Activism doesn't always mean, being out with a picket sign or boycotting and all of that. It's also communication. It's also informing. It's also education. And so verbally share this video, buy somebody a copy of the resource guide so that they can have it and start to implement it. It's a checklist. I'm sorry. And even getting something like that fireproof safe that we talked about. And I can add that to the link I could add that in the chat right now before we head out, just to make it easier for those who asked. I'm all about simplicity. So let me just add that. But again, let's be about that action, y'all. Let's be about that action when it comes to our finances, when it comes to our paperwork, when it comes to our health, when it comes to our loved ones. Let's be about that action. And let me just go ahead and add that. It's called something gifts. I forgot, but I'm going to look it up right now. And it's something gifts. Okay, necessary and affordable gifts. I'm going to actually add the link to that video as well. Yeah, I did a whole holiday guide, which should still be on my channel on the travel page. And and then let me just go ahead and add that. But I do appreciate this community so much, and I'm so thankful for all the moves that you guys have made. Okay, cool. So I'm going to share what the channel looks like. You can see it yourself. And first, I'm going to share the link in the chat, and so you'll know. Here's the link for folders and safes. The link, I'm not sure what the link is you're asking for. I saw somebody just ask for a link, and I'm not sure what that is. But I'm going to show you what the page looks like too. Oh, you know what? Did I share the right? I might have shared a different link. Let me see. I sure did. Give me a second. I am going to share and show. Show and share, y'all. Show and share, y'all. I think I sent the right copy link. There we go. And then let me put this in. Oh, it's the same one, I think, or maybe not. Correct. Amazon store. And when you hit that link, this is what you are going to. It's time for me to get something to drink because. Okay, so let me hide this. And then if you click on the link, Christine, can you test the link if you're still here that I just put in? Let me know if it works. But I'm going to show you what it looks like so that when you get to it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, share screen. It's called For the Culture. It's my Amazon page. And this is what it looks like. Look, oh my gosh, I forgot it's Prime. Yes, child, it is. Y'all are getting some deals here. This is a fireproof accordion for only $21. It is a fireproof binder for $18.99. A protected passport holder for $17. Portable Wi-Fi. Then we also have to, oh, here's the other one. So, oh, look at this. I like that. So another fireproof document bag for $28. Fireproof document bag for $19. If I travel with my carbon monoxide portable detector when I'm in some place where I'm not sure if they're going to have one. But yeah, so if you go to that link, here's another fireproof. This Century is serious business. So I own a Century as well, but it's a little more, and you can see it's not on sale. And then if you want to scan your documents, they have 15% off a scanner that I highly recommend. It's called ScanSnap, and it's 15% off from $279. So these are some of the most important things you can have. But again, all different price ranges, child. All different price ranges. I need to take this off, but this Airbnb. But anyway, yeah, so check it out. Let me see if the link works. Christine, was she here? Yes, the link is good. Perfect. So again, I will make sure it is at the top of this video so you can link easier. But yeah, let's stay ready so we don't have to get ready. Let's get our papers in order. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that we'd be in this place in 2025? That was on nobody's bingo card, but we're here. And now that we know that we're here, let's be about that action. And until tomorrow, everyone have VB. So is that the safe you mentioned, the one not on sale? I have multiple safes. So, and I give safes out. So the ones that are on, whatever one is on that link, feel free. Your price, you know, everybody's budgets are different. So if I'm promoting it, if I have it on my Amazon store, it's because I think it's a good item. So whichever one you want to get, go ahead and get. Okay. Oh, you just got yours. Good, Cynthia. Yeah, it's important. Very important. And we see what's going on with the weather, y'all. It's going to get worse. Yes, it has been mind-blowing. And you're welcome, V. No problem. But I'll see everyone tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night, y'all. And protect your peace.